Howdy, folks. I'm Brian,
I'm Amber.
and here's some Reddit. But before we begin, as you can see, Amber's a Christmas present.
Yes, I have a little Christmas present dress on. I matched it to my beret. I knew we were wearing the beret today, and Brian happens to be wearing red as well.
Yes.
So we're all matchy, Christmassy.
Hopefully, you enjoy our last Snapchat filter here.
And happy Christmas Eve.
Happy Christmas Eve. Happy Friday.
Yes, happy Friday.
All right, let's get started. Our first letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Refusing to Return a Christmas Gift from My Grandmother? Yep, we're getting started off with the Christmas-themed ones. I am a 19-year-old female and I have a cousin that's 1 year younger than me. Her mom and my dad are siblings and very close, and we're both only children, so we were raised practically like sisters. So our Nana would always make us come over on different days before Christmas to make us open our presents from her. Maybe to make sure that we never saw each other's stuff as we opened them. But later I would go to my cousin's house and see her with all these nice wonderful gifts and get confused and upset. My stuff was never that nice or expensive. After a few years, I began to realize that I was getting the second best stuff. If my cousin got Nike shoes for Christmas, I would get $10 shoes from a local store. If she got a new camera, I would get a disposable one. My clothes wouldn't be name brands like hers. She would even get more than me sometimes. I tried really hard not to let it bother me, but it was hard not to get jealous when I saw her stuff constantly. Last year, I got into an argument with my Nana and blew up on her. I accused her of favoritism and demanded that we not get Christmas presents this year from her. We are old enough to not need presents, and I always felt like she got mine more out of obligation than joy. She denied it and strongly said, but she said that she would try harder if I felt like that. I agreed to another Christmas with her. A week ago, I went to my grandma's house by myself, a day before my cousin. Most of my gifts were lackluster, but I appreciated the thought and effort she put in because they were closer to what I liked than usual. One of the gifts made me feel great. A pair of round cut diamond earrings. They were gorgeous, made of 10-carat yellow gold, obviously very pricey. I've never been given something so expensive before. When I looked them up later, I found out that they were over $400. I immediately thanked her for my earrings. I was smiling the whole time, and so was Nana. It finally felt like she understood what I had felt and was making up for years of treating me differently. The next day, however, she called and said I needed to bring one of my Christmas presents back. Can you guess which one? My cousin's earrings and mine were swapped because she mislabeled the presents and she hadn't realized the ones that I had were wrong. I was suspicious and I texted my cousin and asked for a picture of the actual gift. Cubic zirconia. They look sort of similar with the shape and color. Furious, I refused to return the earrings. They had been labeled with my name, so I was happy to have them. My grandma should have pointed it out to me before I left with them. I said that these would make up for all the favoritism over the years. Even now, a week later, close to Christmas, my grandma is hounding me about them. She called me selfish and greedy and told me that I ruined my cousin's Christmas. Even my cousin won't speak to me because I stole her diamonds and refused to acknowledge that she got better stuff. Am I the jerk?
No, not the jerk.
Some Christmas drama llama.
Right, well, first of all, yes, the grandmother is 100% a jerk here. Like, how she expects to treat the two granddaughters differently and not have them figure out is beyond me. But
Yeah.
what I don't get is why haven't Opie's parents and the cousin's parents stepped in? Like,
Yeah. Well, I can understand why the cousin's parents have stepped in.
well, I mean, if the dad and mom are close,
Yeah.
they'll or the cousin's mom and OP's dad, like if they're close as siblings, like they should unite together and be like, Mom, you've got to stop this. You can't treat our daughters like this so differently.
Yeah.
Like this isn't a minor difference. This is like literally giving one kid nice stuff and the other one just like cheap knockoffs.
Yeah. And I mean, the thing is, like, if the grandma doesn't want to give her nice stuff, then maybe she should just give them both not nice stuff.
Right. Like there's an obvious favoritism going on
Yeah.
here. And like the grandma, like OP, you probably just need to stop talking to your grandma. Like it doesn't sound like she wants to do anything nice for you. I don't know why she doesn't like you, but she just doesn't like you.
Yeah, I mean, we of course don't have more information here. We don't have their whole history on like their interactions and whatnot. But it just seems like there's favoritism. You're not the golden child for whatever reason or another. I don't even know if there needs to be a good reason for that.
Right. And the cousin also seems like a kind of not very good person if this has been going on for years and she's like, "Oh no, I don't get nicer stuff." And now she's suddenly mad when she gets the cheap gift and it's like,
Yeah, yeah,
"You stole my gift." Like, how does she not see that there's something unequal here? Like,
yeah.
she knows there's favoritism going on.
Well, that's just it. It's like there's literally favoritism going on here, and everyone was trying to gaslight. I don't know if gaslight's the right word here, but to convince OP
That it's
that
not.
there
I
was
think
no favoritism.
yeah, well, gaslighting is, I think gaslighting is an appropriate word because they're taking something that OP could obviously see with her eyes and
Yeah,
being like, no, no, there's no difference. We're treating you both the same.
really, we're treating you the same, and then like pulling out the cubic zirconia earrings and be like, oh no, you were supposed to get these ones.
Right, like this
This
makes,
is your equal gift.
yeah. So, keep those earrings, OP, like, and just don't necessarily, like, if your grandma's this nasty of a lady, just, maybe don't do Christmas with her anymore because it's going to continue to hurt. She wants to keep giving you nothing while she gives your cousin everything.
Nana here is just interested in giving the other kid. Like, you don't need Christmas to do that, though. You can give people gifts throughout the year. Just show your blatant favoritism throughout the year.
No,
Instead,
don't.
Nana.
That is bad advice. Do not show favoritism to one of your grandchildren. And if one of them likes really expensive stuff and you can't afford it, like if it's about affording it for one of them and not having the money for the other, you just have to get one of the kids cheaper. Like you have to start giving them both equal gifts, even if they're not what the one kid would want.
Yeah.
Our next story is, am I the jerk for asking my boyfriend to tell his dad to stop texting my younger sister? Quick background, I'm a 23-year-old female, and my boyfriend is a 23-year-old male, and we've been together for 6 years. I've known his family for the same amount of time, and we get along. His dad is usually very quiet, and we've had maybe 10 conversations in all the 6 years my boyfriend and I have been together. Recently, about a month ago, he added my sister, who's 19, on Facebook after he found out she likes to collect dolls. She buys, sells, and trades collector's dolls on Facebook, and he saw one of her listings. My boyfriend's dad is a big collector, World War II memorabilia, mid century items, etc. So he was, I guess, interested that she did the same. It started out normal. He asked her about collecting, talked about his antique shopping, and told her that he wanted to meet my family, something he's never said to me.
There's the red flag right there, folks.
As the month has gone on, however, he has begun messaging her all day, every day, even saying good morning and good night.
I misread that originally as massaging her.
That would be even creepier,
but fortunately, that isn't the case here.
yes. This week, he even invited her to go thrift shopping and go to dinner with him, which I invited myself to because I didn't want her to go alone, which is maybe paranoid because I've had too many bad experiences with older men. What really weirds me out is that he will talk badly about his wife, myself, and my boyfriend to her, and he bought her a Christmas gift, which he has never done for me, and now he's asking her to hang out with him? A message that really stands out to me is when he sent her a photo of some girl on an old comic and said, "This beautiful little lady looks just like you." I know I probably sound crazy, but why does a 50-something-year-old man want to talk to a 19-year-old all day when he has shown zero interest in myself and really even in his own son? It doesn't feel like he just wants to get to know my family when he has never brought that up to me. I finally told my boyfriend about it, and he really hates confrontation, so I feel bad asking him to say something. I just don't want to damage my relationship if no one else thinks the situation is weird. So am I the jerk? Edited. My sister, when asked, will laugh awkwardly about it and say it's a little weird, but she thinks he's lonely, so she continues texting him. She's never had close friends due to her having a hard time reading social situations and struggles with feeling lonely, so I worry about her judgment here. Update. After reading the messages myself and seeing him send her selfies, ask for selfies of her, make comments like, "I'm sure you're too busy with your boyfriends for me," and so on, my family sat her down and she's going to block him. I was on the fence until I saw the messages myself. Having been through similar situations myself, all the alarm bells went off in my head. She ended up admitting that she was uncomfortable, but said she would feel guilty if ignoring him ended up damaging my relationship with my boyfriend, and so she kept entertaining it. My boyfriend is talking to him and telling him that he crossed a major line regardless of if he realized it. None of us know if his mom knows, but I don't think we will involve her. Second update, he told his mom and now she is confronting him.
So, why is he lonely? It sounds like he's married.
Yeah.
Okay, I could certainly understand it if this was more like he found someone who was kind of a fellow collector and really was like involved in the collector community and stuff like that, and really just wanted to like show her collecting stuff. But this seems a little bit more less innocuous.
Right. Like if their conversations had stuck to the collecting and similar stuff,
Yeah.
but like inviting her out to dinner
Yeah.
and telling her how beautiful she is, like
Yeah.
very clearly he has other interests and
Yeah.
asking for selfies and all that sort of
Like
stuff.
you don't need selfies for collecting.
Right. It would be one thing if it was like, oh, well, can I see pictures of your doll collection? Like
Yeah, yeah.
that, might make sense. But being like, oh, can I have some selfies? Here are some selfies. Like everything about this reads, creepy old man interested in a cute 19-year-old type of thing.
Yeah, and the thing is like it would be also a little bit different, I feel like, if they were collecting the same kind of stuff and involved in the same community of collecting. That might be like actually, or if he was looking like for, tips on how she was selling her stuff or stuff like that.
If the messages were something other than like he's using this as an in to get
Yeah,
dinner.
that's what I mean. I
Yeah.
was just saying, like, yeah, I was just reiterating here, like,
Yeah.
none of the whole, oh, you're too busy dealing with your boyfriends type of
Right.
stuff, and
Yeah.
please send me more selfies.
So, like, I think OP was 100% in the right to step in here. And even though her sister is an adult, like, it's clear the sister was put in a very uncomfortable situation.
Yeah,
And it's sometimes hard. Like, if you feel like, I don't want to mess up my sister's relationship with her boyfriend of 6 years,
yeah,
like, she felt a lot of pressure to maintain, even though this guy is creepy and making her uncomfortable.
yeah.
So I think it is important to like if you see someone in an uncomfortable situation to kind of like take a moment and be like, "Hey, are you okay with this?" and check in.
Yeah, well, and she also might just have kind of been taken aback by the attention. It doesn't sound like she has like a whole lot of like social type outlets here, and so she
Right.
may have just been like really unused to getting so much attention from someone, and it might have just, momentarily been like, "Oh, someone's paying attention to me. That's
Or
kind of nice."
or it could have just been that she doesn't see the red flags because
Yeah.
as someone who struggles to read social cues myself, like now like I can, because these occur so commonly, like I can recognize the red flags at the story, but when I was like younger, I might not have seen that because it's not as easy. So she may have just tried, but, oh well, he's just lonely and kind of like missed the kind of more hallmark, like, oh well, he's inviting me alone to dinner, he's
Yeah.
getting me alone a Christmas present.
Yeah, those are all very much on their own type of things. Not necessarily good. And he's married. He's married. What is wrong with this situation? He's literally married. Our next letter is titled, Am I a jerk for being upset that my wife is trying to be cheap with my gifts this year after making a deals with me and promises to me about it? So my computer mouse is garbage. Hot garbage. The scroll wheel doesn't work anymore. The cursor teleports around all over the place. There's a large delay and when I move the mouse and something happens. I need a new one and I have wanted one for a while, but I really haven't had a chance to go and buy one. We talked about what we wanted for Christmas this year, and I said I wanted to get a new mouse. My wife says that's fine, and we talked about a really nice $60 mouse with a lot of features that would be really nice and that I would like. She was 100% on board. I was going to get her a nice gift that she wanted as well. Since that discussion, she's brought up many different moments of, oh, well, can you pay for this or the groceries today? If I spend that, then I won't have enough money for your gift. I paid for everything. A day later, I need money for food. If I buy it, I might not be able to afford your present. I paid for her food. This kept happening multiple times throughout the past month until today. Today, we were going shopping for her present and my present. While we were on our way, she decides to, quote, let's just get a cheaper one. You don't really need such an expensive one. Basically, she wanted to drop the price to under $20. This upset me greatly. I told her, wow, really? You made me repeatedly buy for pretty much everything for weeks so that you would have the money for my gift, and now on the day of it, you are choosing to change it around and spend less? I'd have been more okay with this if you mentioned it weeks ago, but honestly, now I'm just mad. Then she went on a tangent about how, quote, it's not the amount you spend on it, it's the thought that counts. I thought this was stupid since she spent weeks building up my excitement, promising me that she would get the controller if I helped her conserve money until Christmas. And then suddenly, she decided I'm not worth it. I'm sure I'm being petty, that's understandable, if so, but I want to know if my frustration is justified or not. So, am I the jerk? Edit. Okay, so we talked a bit more, and I told her how I felt about this, but with both of us a bit more calm. She finally started to understand where I'm coming from, and we went and she bought the really nice mouse and a few other things. I even got her a gift card slash accessory that she wanted. I'm kind of irked by the fact that this happened to begin with, but I'll get over it. No need for a divorce or anything insane like that, some of you folks oddly suggested. Glad to know that my feelings are valid, and thank you to those who ask questions and offer the other possible viewpoints. On a side note, I'd like to say it appears that she was just overwhelmed by how much she promised to buy for multiple people. She was being too generous and it caught up with her. She was willing to be transparent and show me her bank account history, receipts of purchases, texts to family members, and so on, but I declined the offer. I'm still bothered by the fact that she was even in a situation to begin with, but I'll get over it. Alright, folks.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with not the jerk here. I mean, specifically because she was telling him for weeks and weeks that, like, if you buy me this thing, like, then it's the only way I'll have money for your present. Like,
Yeah.
so basically, like, stringing him along, like, I'm gonna get you this mouse, but you gotta pay for all this stuff. And then the day of, she's like, oh.
So he paid for the mouse and then some.
Yeah, basically.
Oh, I mean, OP's situation here is a little bit frustrating. I can certainly see that.
Yeah.
And I think that the reasoning that she gave him in the end is actually something that happens with people.
Right. And hopefully this will be a lesson to her on not stretching herself too thin and,
Budgeting.
I understand the desire to give people lots of nice gifts. I definitely wish that I had unlimited quantities of money and could shower all my loved ones with like all the gifts their hearts desire.
Yeah.
But that's not in the budget.
Yeah.
And it really is important to make realistic promises and stick to a budget.
Yeah, it's because that she's planning on getting me $1 million for Christmas, and she's
Yeah,
been telling me all year that she's going to get me $1 million.
No.
And so I'm really happy about that.
No, we have to wait until my book takes off.
So yeah, I think this is an important lesson here is just don't overextend yourself for Christmas. I mean, I guess like telling people this on Christmas Eve is probably not the finest advice.
Well, yes, but like, yeah.
Don't
like,
do it next year.
Yeah. Well, it is a big issue every year. So many people go into loss of debt because there's so much pressure. But
yeah, don't break the bank over Christmas here.
Yeah, your loved ones will be fine with lesser expensive Christmas presents if that's what you can afford. And if they're not, then they're probably not very good people to begin with. Like anyone who would push you to go into debt over a Christmas gift maybe is being a bit of a jerk. All right, our next story is, am I the jerk for replacing the stones in my grandma's ring? My grandma passed away 10 years ago, and when her estate was settled, I ended up with her wedding ring. She didn't leave it to me specifically, but that's the way things turned out. It fits me, but I was already married at the time of her passing. When I got the ring, that was the first time I'd ever seen it. I was close with Grandma, but never knew her to wear any jewelry. She must have worn it a lot at some point, though, because the center stone and one of the side stones had fallen out. It made me sad to see it that way, and my first thought at the time was to save and buy new stones for it so it could look like new again. My husband said I shouldn't because since I already have a wedding ring, this one isn't really mine to keep or wear.
It isn't his. It isn't hers.
That is just such twisted logic. Like, let's pause for a second. So if you already have a thing, like, then this other thing isn't really yours. Like, that's just so bad.
It's
logic.
not your property that was given to you.
Yeah, you were literally given this, but you can't think of it as just yours because I bought you a ring and that's the only ring you get to have. Like, he sounds a little bit like possessive there. Like, my ring is the only ring. One of our future kids might want to use it as a wedding ring and pick out their own stones. The ring sat in my drawer for 10 years and just recently I decided to go for it anyway. We do have kids now, but there's no telling if they'll ever get married or if they'll want to use the ring when they do. They never even met my grandma, so why would they? It'd be more appealing to them with the stones in it anyway. So I had it restored. The stones are fairly small compared to modern rings, so the price wasn't a deal breaker for our family. It was on par with any other gift I might have picked up for myself at Christmas. My husband is annoyed and says I'm selfish for choosing to enjoy the ring myself instead of saving it for others. But it's a ring, not a pie. It'll still be around in 20 years if one of the kids wants it when they get engaged. I can't believe I have to ask, but is there any way he's right and I'm the jerk here? Edit. Wow, this has really taken off. Thank you for the awards and the reassurance and perspective you've all offered. A couple of questions keep coming up. 1. How did I pay for the stones? From a joint account. We don't have individual accounts. The amount was small though. It's Christmas and I always spend roughly this amount for my gift. 2. Is the ring nicer / more expensive than my engagement ring for my husband? No, my grandparents were rural farmers and had neither the money nor any practical use for extravagant things. Big diamonds weren't in fashion back then. Its value is almost entirely sentimental, which leads to my above point. Replacing the stones wasn't expensive. They were small and affordable. 3. Are you wearing it instead of your own wedding ring? I still wear my wedding ring and plan to wear this one on my right hand. I haven't worn it at all yet since it isn't Christmas for a few more days. So yeah, and I think OP is 100%, in the right here to have the ring restored if that's what she wants. I don't think there's anything wrong
Yeah,
with that.
yeah. And I mean, it doesn't even sound like it was an expensive process.
Right. It's not like it was like, oh, I'm gonna put in like a 5 carat diamond or something and
Yeah.
spend however I don't even know how much that would cost, but lots of money. These are little stones. It sounds like it was very affordable for them to do.
Yeah.
Like, and all her points, like, yeah, why would the kids want to propose with a ring that one has no stones in it? Like, by fixing it up, OP's done them a favor because at least now the ring is usable if they want to use it. But two, it's her own property. Even if she never wanted to give it to the kids, she would be within her right to keep it and wear it.
Yeah. Well, that's just it. It's like the ring is more sentimental than anything here. And
Yeah.
she's giving this to herself as a Christmas present, and I think that's pretty reasonable. I
Right.
don't think that, if she had been breaking the bank to get this fixed and they couldn't afford it, then that might be a little selfish. But this is not the case here. This is just a sentimental piece of jewelry that she wants to hold and
Right.
wants to enjoy and wants to remember her grandmother by, and I think that's just fine.
And my question is, if it wasn't an engagement ring, like let's say it was a necklace and he was missing a stone or something, would OP's husband feel the same way? Like,
Yeah, and that's a really good question. Is it specifically about it being an engagement ring? Does he not like the fact that it is an engagement ring? It might make him feel uncomfortable.
that's my guess is because it's an engagement ring, he doesn't want her wearing it around because she already has one or something. It sounds like there's some kind of insecurity in there
Yeah.
because lots of people inherit sentimental jewelry and wear them around. This is again a purely sentimental thing, and OP is the one who has the sentimental attachment to it, not the kids who never knew this grandma. And so I think he's seeing it more for like the marriage promise thing and not for the significance
Yeah.
to OP. Like this is just it's like any other piece of sentimental jewelry. It's a reminder of her grandma. And so, wouldn't be any different than wearing her grandma's necklace or anything like that.
Yeah, exactly. All right, folks, that's all the time we have for today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, consider giving us a like, and if you didn't, consider giving us a dislike. Thanks so much to Amber for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Hopefully you folks have enjoyed this series of Snapchat filters here. Seeing me probably look pretty ridiculous.
You look great.
Seeing Amber look very cute. So thanks so much for watching. I hope you folks all have a very merry holidays, and I hope everything goes well and that you don't have this kind of drama to deal with.
Yes, happy holidays. I hope you have a drama-free day tomorrow.
Yeah.
Whatever you're doing tomorrow.
So take care, and we'll see you all on Monday.
Bye.